welcome back to episode 10 of the Double Troll podcast. I'm here with my co-host George.
Hi.
And today's an exciting episode, if I do say so myself. We're in a different location, and we're talking about ghosts, paranormal activity, and afterlife in today's episode. That's because it's kind of this aesthetic, this spooky kind of aesthetic. And we're kind of in a very interesting location.
We don't want to reveal too much,
I mean, if police come, please come. So basically, we're gonna, chop this up in two parts as usual. And in the first part, we're gonna talk about 6 scary stories that actually happened apparently in Japan. We're gonna give 3 stories each. So, you want to get cracking?
Please do.
All right. So the first one that I have it's called Baseball Boys by a user named Pauline.
Look, before we start, do you want to talk about the source we picked up?
Indeed. Okay, so the source that we got this from is called Gaijin Pot Blog.
Yes.
And
do you have any reasons for that?
No. We were just looking for stories that happened in Japan, and we just stumbled upon this article. So we're going to put this in the link in the description, so please check it out if you're interested. And please like and subscribe if you like this kind of podcast. All right, first one, Baseball Boys, happened to call Pauline. This happened half a year after I moved to Japan. It was Obon, so there weren't many people around.
Mid-August then.
Yeah. My mom and I were crossing the street after finishing our part-time job around 1 a.m. when I noticed 4 boys aged around 12 to 13 with the same buzz cut hairstyle laughing and goofing around across the lot. I ignored them. When we crossed, I realized it was strange that there were kids still loitering at that time. But when I looked back, they were already gone. I asked my mom, "Where did the kids go?" She asked me what I was talking about. We were completely alone. Later I found out that years ago in that town there was a bus accident that killed most of its passengers, including students who were heading to participate in a baseball match. They were in 6th grade. So this was the first story that we picked up. It's called Baseball Boys. And do you want to explain what Obon is to the people?
Okay, you could say Obon was symbolic with the story because it's time when you pay respects to the ghosts, the spirits of your elder or dead elders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or gosenzo-san in Japanese.
And it's said that spirits come to your house to, say hello.
Yes.
And to greet the family members that are still alive. So at that time, they went to, after a part-time job at 1 a.m. Right now it's 12 p.m. 12 a.m.
Something around that.
It's 12 a.m. Spooky time, spooky atmosphere. And there were 4 boys around 12 to 13 with the same buzz cut. Having a buzz cut in Japan when you're in the baseball team is very common.
Or mandatory even.
Yeah, mandatory. So, yeah. And this was a kind of, a little easy story to ease into the spooky episode today.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to give out your first one?
Alright, let's give it a shot.
We have 6, so we each have 3. They're not very they're like super scary, so don't be worried about that. So.
Well, this is something that we know quite a lot. 8 kaiwas and the phone fee for it. I used to work at 8 kaiwa, and some of the teachers told me there was a ghost. And they never believed it until things escalated. All the teachers usually bought convenience store bento boxes and ate together in one of the classrooms. We call the seat where we wanted to sit at the table by putting our phone or wall ball in the spot. Well, one day I could have sworn I put my phone in the spot I was going to sit in, but when we came back from the convenience store, I couldn't find it. We looked everywhere for it and ended up finding in the teacher's lounge, which was in a totally different part of the school. I said to my coworker, "You saw me put the phone down on the table, right?" She confirmed. A few weeks later, 2 co-workers saw a woman with long hair sitting in a classroom next to a student we all knew. we couldn't figure out who she was, and after our lessons we realized no one could remember her actually being in their classes. The reception staff couldn't recall any female students coming in with long hair either. Not only that, the real student who she was sitting next to didn't even see her. All I gotta say is stay away from can we say this? NOVA in Kawasaki, because there's a ghost in that beach.
Oh.
Thanks to Camille Green for that one. Also, stories have been minimally edited for clarity.
So basically at a eikaiwa
Yeah.
school, English teaching school, or what was it called?
English communications
A
class?
cram school,
Cram school, but specifically for...
English speaking.
Yes.
And so there's a very common long-haired woman sitting there, and just chilling. Okay.
No, but the phone ain't chilling though, is it? It's moving all over the place.
Dude, something's gonna come up behind us, bro. This is all right. Do you like scary stuff?
Yeah, please bring it on.
Okay. This is my second story. It's called Ghostly Roommate, from an anonymous user. It was winter 2017 in Nagoya. Cold wind whistled through the open hallways of the apartment-style girl dorms as everyone stayed up late cramming for finals. Past 2 a.m., I went to the bathroom and felt a presence behind me the whole time. It happened again the next night, but I said nothing to my roommates. Right before New Year's Eve, I told them. They had felt it too. We began noticing drawers left open and knives rattling. It wasn't until weeks later that our Japanese roommate told us the big secret the university was hiding from the foreign students. 4 years prior, the dorm had been co-ed until the student became pregnant. She couldn't keep it, and her Japanese boyfriend committed suicide in one of the rooms right before New Year's. After that, the unit had been kept empty because the trash would catch on fire or accidents would happen. We never joked about ghosts again. Ooh, okay, this one's kind of creepy.
It does, actually.
Okay, so in Nagoya, past 2 a.m. at a girl's dorm right before New Year's Eve. So basically, some dude got a girl pregnant, and then he was like, fuck this, and then killed himself in a classroom.
In a classroom? Oh, I didn't get that bit. Really?
In one of the rooms, sorry.
Yeah.
In one of the rooms.
In the girls' dormitory?
It was very sus. There's a different scary thing about this story. But, so it said on the end that empty trash bags would catch on fire or accidents would happen. So do you believe, this is kind of like a different, story, but do you believe in paranormal stuff? Or do you believe in ghosts even?
I've always been skeptical. Because if you don't believe it, then you wouldn't see it, right?
Hey.
That's what some of my friends have told me. But there are creepy, weird coincidences, all of those things that you mentioned. Especially the bag being caught fire all the time. I mean,
that never happens. I mean, that's not a usual thing, okay? And it all connects. Like these kinds of stories is it makes it more creepy because, when you find out that someone died on that day, on New Year's Eve, and everything aligns, and everything's like, oh, that happened because, 4 years back, on New Year's, on the same day, someone died, committed suicide, and all these paranormal things are, occurring, and she's, feeling a presence behind her. It all aligns, which makes it even more creepy, so.
Well, if there is a ghost, then this one is pretty believable, I must say.
Yeah.
The boy's a ghost, sorry.
Yeah, very, very creepy. I'm not gonna fuck with that guy. You wanna tell your second one?
Yeah, sure thing. Let's have a look at it.
Oh boy. It's getting creepy up in here.
Right, Okinawa poltergeist is the next one. I visited the Japanese Imperial Naval Tunnels Museum in Nahasi, so that's in Okinawa, obviously. Okinawa 2 years ago. and had a rather surprising experience. Deep down in the tunnels, there are numerous rooms where people had killed themselves or died from injury during the Battle of Okinawa. So this is right at the end of World War II. It was a battle that wasn't really necessary in the grand scheme of things. One of these rooms has a barrier at the doorway, meaning that you can only look into the room. Inside the corner of the room is a small Buddhist shrine where people throw coins and then say a prayer. Right? I threw in a 10 yen coin, it hit the floor, and within a second or two a coin next to it had risen
What?
above the grid by about 5 feet
5 feet.
and then flew to the other side of the room. This is not believable.
That coin has some hops.
Under the table with such force they made me jump. Of course I was the only one there, as it was very quiet at the museum that day and my camera was off at the time. Typical, eh? I went online and read Japanese websites that state that local people always see the figures of men in uniform at the museum, especially at night, in and around the entrance of the museum. Even walking through those tunnels, you always feel that someone is behind you. By Mr. Will Bowen.
Okay. So the 5 foot thing, the coin flying up 5 feet and like shooting out, that's obviously fake, or is it? But I mean, I think the people in uniforms, I feel like people saw like people like walking around the hallways in uniforms, but they wanted to make the interesting more juicy clickbait, so they just literally threw in a coin that just flew out with some like mad hops. Why did it make it like that, man? Like I was with you until the fucking 5 foot jumping coin. This is supposed to be scary. You guys better be spooked out. I mean,
they got us in the first half, not gonna.
Oh no. You have anything to say about that one? I mean,
Nah, it's stupid.
nah. I mean, I think part of it is true though.
Okay.
I believe a lot of stuff happens in those types of areas, but the coin thing is really hard to believe.
Well, when they say ghosts, in this case, they talk about the soldiers who died for the cause. Do you think they are at play with this magical moment?
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense in that so they're saying that a soldier picked up a coin and like threw it. If there's some kind of meaning to that we're not getting, other than that, like, it's kind of a dumb story. I mean, if it was like I felt a presence behind me, a soldier was there behind me with a floating hat. I mean, that would have been more believable than a 5 foot jumping coin. I mean, I'll give that a 2 out of 10. My next one, my last one, we're going swiftly through these. It's called My Encounter in Nara Prefecture.
Not Naha, that was in
Nara. This is from a user, anonymous user, and this is the story. I thought she was perhaps shy or wary of strangers, so I didn't think much of it until my boyfriend turned to me and asked who I was talking to. He was not the type to joke around and looked genuinely perplexed. I was walking down a quiet street in Nara with my boyfriend one evening. It was just starting to get dark, but the weather was nice, so we were taking our time. Ahead, I noticed a young girl standing off to the side of the road, staring at us. As we neared, I smiled and greeted her, but she simply continued to stare in silence until we had passed by. I turned to point out the girl, but she was gone. I couldn't see anywhere she could have hidden in such a short amount of time, and I stared at the spot where she had been standing. I suddenly felt chills. Nothing more came of the incident, but I didn't venture out after dark again for quite a while. I still wonder about it, but I haven't had the courage to return to that spot. So, I mean, this is one of those stories where a guy sees a girl in the middle of the street and she disappears. So basically, like, over there, you guys can't see, it's a road. It's basically a girl standing right there, staring at us, and we greet them, and I greet her and say, "What's up, bro?" And then she disappears. Quite
Spooky.
creepy, though. Yeah. Like, when this person says, There was no place where she could have hidden. I believe that. I feel like you can't really describe that in words. You have to see a picture, but I feel like it was a pretty open road, not many places to hide. So, and little short story that my friend told me. So one day, my friend, an American friend, said he was walking alone to my friend's house from the station in Japan, and he was walking behind I'd say a middle-aged woman. He was walking behind her, and he was listening to some music on his phone. And when he looked down at his phone for 2 seconds to change the music, he looked up and the woman wasn't there. And he said that the woman was like 10 feet in front, so like really close. It was a straightaway and no buildings on each side. And he said he like turned back and he took a longer way around. So that kind of thing, fucks with me, because like when it becomes like when this shit happens to your friends, I was like, nah, I'm not fucking with this anymore. I mean,
You mean you wouldn't bother with this friend? You mean
No,
because
no.
he summons bad spirits?
No, that's not what I mean. But I don't, I start to believe this kind of story because I have actual friends that experience these kinds of, kind of creepy ass experience things. So it makes me kind of believe and kind of creeps me out.
Yeah. There wasn't any background like we had with the previous story, right?
It just jumps straight in, yeah.
Right. Well, I think it's also interesting that with most, I wouldn't say scary stories, but with folk tales, when they are told in the story scary way, it's normally related to women, like with Yuki Onna example. That's just a historical thing, but I think it's important to note.
Yeah, I wonder why. So, in America, or in other like places around the world, when you say a ghost, you probably like think of a white, blob with black eyes, right? But in Japan, when you say ghost, or when you say scary, the first thing that comes to mind is a woman with like a white gown,
long hair as well,
black hair, and like looking down, you can't see her face. That's what you think of. So that's like a cultural thing, and I feel like it's all in the head when it comes to these things, because everyone is saying a woman was there, except for the ghostly roommate story. So kind of creepy.
Cultural differences, even in
On to the last story.
Alright, so I think this was the best story from all the blog posts, if you ask me.
Okay.
And it was called The Thirsty Ghost. I think we're in for a ride.
Okay.
I'm piping up on it. I was staying at a very cheap hotel close to Minami Senju Station. That's in Tokyo. My Japanese friend said that the area used to be an execution ground in the Edo era, and a few hundred thousand people were killed there. The whole place seemed spooky to me. There's a Buddha Jizo statue called Kubikiri, brackets neck cutting, right at the station. Another Jizo statue nearby that sometimes throws off his metal hat, and an intersection called Namidabashi, Bridge of Tears. Anyway, staying at my hotel became really creepy when I noticed that someone was turning my slippers 90 degrees sideways every time I left the room. My guess was that it was the staff doing it, cleaning, but I was always left the shoes facing the door, so if they were turning my shoes, why 90 degrees only? Why not facing the room? One day I asked the girl at the front desk if she knew something about my shoes being turned, and she said, yes, we are aware of this ghost, but no need to worry. He never hurts anyone. And if you are annoyed by it, just put some sweets and some alcohol beside the door. You can eat and drink it later, but please pick something tasty that you like. I tried to be polite and understanding about Japanese ghost culture, so I bought a different drink every evening with some melon pan.
Damn.
And left it on the shelf beside the door. Guess what? My shoes were not turned sideways ever again. But one night I accidentally bought some really bad tasting green tea based alcoholic drink and left the open can as an offering. The girls probably didn't like it either. because when I went to take a morning shower, I heard something laughing from inside the walls. So be careful when you stay around the Minami Senju station area by Nana.
Damn, that was a good one. Yeah,
I think it's good.
Yeah, it is a good one. Huh? So I like the description. So 90 degrees, some meronpan.
There's a comedic element to it as well. You know?
Yeah. So, wait. So the last one, what did he give the ghost?
The bad one, you mean?
The bad one, yeah.
He said, like, matcha infused alcoholic bad beverage.
So, is it so you have to give something that you like, you personally like?
Yeah, like something that's acknowledged as really nice, like melon pan, for example. The
That
ghost
is really
really,
good.
yeah.
There's a banger, that banging bread.
And the ghost agreed with that, you know.
Oh, so the ghost was probably a math teacher.
Okay.
And then, he was turning it 90 degrees, he was turning it.
So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wanted the slippers to become like a compass.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why that connects with being a math teacher, but we move, and then, he's turning it, and then, he just wanted to munch on some stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. I wonder why the girl knew. She's just like, oh, you're going through that thing? Just give some meronpan, bro. Bro, the ghost loves some meronpan.
Exactly. She knows, you know.
So I wonder how long he did that for.
He doesn't split. Well, as long as he was at the area or Nana, so
Like,
maybe a
imagine
woman.
being in his shoes, like doing it every evening, even for a week, and then one day you give it like some weird ass drink that you don't like, and you actually hear voices. That shit will like fuck you up.
Well, it's not harmful, you know.
I mean, but
Very
it's
peaceful
still,
ghost.
It's still creepy as shit, though. I would never. If that shit happens to me, I'm dipping. I'm dipping quick. Like, would you ever live in a place that someone actually died in, or what do you call it in Japanese?
You're putting me on the spot. I don't really
I forgot
know.
what it's called. So basically, in Japan, I mean everywhere, right? If someone dies there or some incident happens in that room or apartment, that place has cheaper rent, obviously, because not many people are gonna get it. So, would you stay in those kinds of places ever?
It depends on how gruesome, but most of the time I would say no.
No? I mean, in a lot of dramas, a lot of movies, I'm going to mention this in part 2 of this episode, but, there's a lot of movies where, the main character stays at a haunted apartment or something, and then bad things happen, every day, some paranormal stuff happens, so for me, if the price is right, I'll go.
Just for the thrills.
No, but I would go with a friend.
Okay.
Let's go. Oh wait, new episode idea. We're gonna go stay the night at a haunted apartment, and we're gonna do a podcast there, a live stream, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll come soon. Don't worry. We promise. And welcome back to part 2 of our episode 10 of our Double Trouble podcast. Continuing with the theme of ghosts and spookiness and everything that comes with it. Well, I'm just gonna ask you straight away, do you believe in ghosts and paranormal experiences?
I do actually believe in ghosts. I actually believe in, like, I wouldn't call them ghosts, but spirits. I believe in spirits.
Oh, please tell me more. What kind of spirits?
So basically, I used to believe that there were no ghosts, no spirits, like everyone else. But this one guy, a friend of mine, told me about his sixth sense, which is, how do you say dekan?
Well, sixth sense is absolutely fine. So when you say five sense, you talk about like seeing, hearing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the sixth sense, he was talking about that, and it kind of got me thinking, this shit might actually be real. So to elaborate on that, I don't know if I should say this. So basically, he is a friend of mine, that has a very strong sixth sense and can see and feel spirits.
Okay.
And we went to me and 3 of my friends went to a haunted area in Japan, and we went by car.
Mm-hmm.
And this friend that had the sixth sense, he was saying that we shouldn't go, fuck this is actually dangerous. And he was saying that the whole ride. And we went to this abandoned hotel, I believe. It was a hotel that was abandoned like 50 years ago, I would say. And not even, like 30 years ago. It's pretty recent. And we went there, and it was really scary because I don't have any experiences that, you know, are like making me feel uncomfortable going into those situations. But when we got there, his face froze, and he was like legit shivering, and it was during the summer, I think.
Yes.
So he was legit shivering. It wasn't even that cold, and that was just creeping me out. And that was just only the beginning. We went inside the building, and there was this like narrow passage, and it was a forest basically.
Okay, so there's not a lot of people around.
No one.
So it's not. We're not in a big city out here. It's in the middle of nowhere. Is it?
Middle of nowhere. I want you guys to think of a forest. In the middle of a forest, there's a hotel, and this place is gated off. It's a famous, you know, haunted area. So it's supposed to be, you know, abandoned. Not many people are supposed to go there. But there's a big, like, I would say like 10-foot metal fence, and there was a hole in it. There was like a small hole that someone probably like dug into, and it was probably like a famous area. We got in there, you know, we snuck in, and the first thing that we did is we all looked at that friend, and his facial expression, I could never impersonate that, but it was the scariest thing, honestly.
Looking at him, you mean?
Yeah, looking at him. He was staring at the hotel. His face was blank. His face was hella white, even though he's Asian. Like, it did not seem like a good idea to go. And we proceeded to go, as we do. It was like a hour drive. I mean, we had to go. We went inside the building. Walls were all like caved in. Ceiling non-existent. It was a 2-story hotel. Non-existent in some parts. The ground is kind of, you know, still kind of broken. When you step, it creaks. You know, that kind of vibe. And no, like, I'm not making this shit up. Okay, we were all standing in a circle on the 2nd floor.
Yes.
I never told you this, by the way.
No.
We were all in a circle standing, and we were just like looking at our phone, being like, what should we do next? We like pretty much looked at the whole area, and, you know, I felt something on my neck, basically. I felt something like brush like along my neck, and after that, I think it was before, actually. Before that, my friend, that friend with the sixth sense, he said that there was hair dangling like above the door, like long hair dangling above the door. We all looked, obviously, and there was nothing there. And he was like backing up. He was like on the verge of tears, and yeah. And right after that, I felt something on my neck, which fucked me up.
So, how can I say this?
I'm not making this shit up. This shit is so like, this shit fucked me up, actually.
Do you have any sort of background to this hotel then? Was it something that, you know, a head was decapitated so that the hair was tangling, or
I don't know.
it just happened to be a spooky ass place?
I should have done my research for this, but I don't think there were any like. It might have been a mental kind of hospital, one of those, and abandoned one, and we went there stupidly, and that's not even the only thing that happened. There's more.
You might as well. You just don't feel comfortable at the moment.
No, I do. I mean, it's a spooky episode. Why not? So, me and my friends, there were 4 people, 3 of my friends, so 4 people in total. Uh, one of my friends had the great idea of playing hide and go seek
In this place.
in this place.
Adventures.
And basically, 1 person is a seeker, 3 people are hiding. And of course, 3 people, I was one of the hiders, we all hide together, obviously. And so I really want to explain and like paint this place to you, but it was a very long hallway.
Yes.
No lights, of course. Very long hallway, and there were
What time of the day is it?
midnight, past midnight.
Why the hell you go there midnight?
It was a long hallway, and there were rooms on each side. I would say like 5 rooms on each side, so a total of 10 rooms.
Yeah.
So when you walk down, we went to each single room, and we went. Okay, so the hider we were hiding in the nearest room, and then the seeker was counting in the furthest one,
Yes.
on the far right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had time to like sneak all the way to the front of the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
We hid there, and the room of this place, so you go in, on the right, you see this like very dirty like toilet. There's like brown stuff in there, and when you like keep going straight, there's a bathtub. The bathtub is like the creepiest shit ever. It's like one of those old ass like really deep ones, but it's like circular.
Okay. What was it made out of?
Like a typical, like a brick thing. How do you say?
Wash base.
Uh,
Tiles?
Tiles. Yeah. And marble.
Marble, there
That's
we
the
go.
word. And there's like broken mirrors.
Oh,
you
gosh.
You can like kind of see yourself, but it's like broken, so it makes it even more creepy. And we hid there in the bathtub, and then on the next side there's a bed, a dirty ass mattress, of course, and we hid in the bathtub, and we heard him coming, like there were steps coming.
Not the ghost.
Not the ghost. I think so. I mean, not the ghost. And we heard him walking, like very slowly, checking each room because he was on the furthest one, checking each room, saying like, "Where are you guys?" We were just hiding, and we heard this like loud bang, and we were like, "Holy shit!" I mean, it must have been him, right? And he finds us. He turns into the room that we're in. He finds us, and we're like, "Oh, thank God, it's over."
Mm.
And we ask him about that loud thud. He's like, "No idea. I thought it was you guys." And we're like, "Oh my fucking God, bruh." So
your gut instinct said that the spirits weren't happy that you were messing about.
I guess. Obviously, yeah. So, yeah, that really fucked me up.
And this was when you start believing such things could exist.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of YouTubers go to these kind of haunted places, clickbaits you guys and saying that they caught something on camera, but when you actually go there with a friend that has a sixth sense, you actually get the feeling that someone's watching you and that someone's there. And I believe that people do have the sixth sense, and some people are actually can feel things, like feel spirits.
Well, I'm still a little bit skeptical, but you still think that?
No, I'm 100% sure that like some shit was there. Cause when I said the guy said there was hair, I mean in the other room he like legit said there's someone right there. Can you not see her? He was like legit like looking at the corner of the room and saying, "Guys, she's right there." And I walked over because the dumbass I am. I walked over there, and nothing happened. I was like, "Well, where?" And then that guy is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" So I'm basically standing next to a ghost, basically, for him in his eyes. So.
And with the person, so concerning the person with the sixth sense, is that something that you're born with it? Is it just something that's in with you?
I think it's.
Or is it something you can cultivate?
So, it's gonna be me rambling a lot in this part, but so that friend with the sixth sense, I think it's something you're born with. His grandmother has this sixth sense, and like there's like a meter. So you're either like really strong or you just don't feel it. So I'm like on end of this spectrum, like you are too. And,
I hope so.
yeah, and this friend is like probably in the middle, and his grandmother is probably at the end.
Wow.
So this is another story. Sorry if the camera's shaky, but this is another story about this friend. Okay, this shit gave me the chills. I hope it does to you. Okay, so this friend, he lives in Tokyo, and whenever he goes back to his actual house, his jikka, he goes back to his grandmother's house. He goes there.
Jikka is, where people, when they go back to the elderlies,
normally
it's not so big city area.
Yeah, rural area.
Rural, thank you.
And he goes there every year. And I think it was last year, during the summer, he went there and he saw, I think it was, sorry, I messed up the story. He goes there every year, and a while back, several years back, he said he went there, went to his grandma's house. And basically his house, you go in the room, in the house, and then there's stairs like right in front of your face. And you go to the left, and then there's the kitchen and his room. So you open the door, and then when he walks in, he sees a girl sitting on the stairs, like right on the stairs. And he's like, "Oh shit, there's someone here. Hello." And you're not supposed to interact with ghosts, but he gives like a nod, I guess, and then he walks in, and then goes to the left, and his grandmother is in the kitchen, and he goes, "Who's that girl sitting on the stairs?" And his grandmother says, "Oh, it's your mother's sister's daughter that passed away when she was just born."
Yikes.
And he said that, okay, she's sitting right there. She seems to be about 5 or 6 years old. She seems very young. And she said, yeah, she likes to visit here a lot. And the grandmother is used to this kind of stuff. And he's like, okay, my grandmother sees it as well, so it must actually be there. And he, thinks not much of it, because, he's lived with this sixth sense his whole life. And he goes there every year. And I think it was last year, he noticed that, okay, so this is the creepiest shit. He opens the door, and the girl is sitting there, but she's like 16 or 17, so she's actually growing. This shit fucked me up, bro. This shit fucked me up. So basically, he said that the kid was growing. When he asked his grandmother, he said, "Yeah, the kid's growing. That's good to hear." And the grandmother is just used to that, and she lives basically with that child. So, and he added that when he goes to the room on the left, he can't turn on the air conditioner. When he I think his shower is in the upstairs, so he has to go through that girl. And I didn't ask this, but like when you go through a spirit, like I don't know what it feels like, but you go through. I wonder what it's like looking back at her. Like I wonder what it's like, but I never asked. But he goes upstairs into the shower, and shit falls over. When he puts the speaker on a plain surface, like a flat surface, he just falls over and stuff like that. So I kind of thought this is the type of shit that only people with the sixth sense can actually feel and experience.
So somebody like you and I won't be able to detect it that well.
Nah. There's no way. And yeah.
But with the microphone thing, that's something that we can both see, right? Potentially.
What do you mean microphone thing?
You said the microphone never stays stable.
Oh, the speaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It might be like the girl. What he thought and what he told me is the girl is trying to probably communicate with that guy. The girl probably knows that he is aware of her existence. So she's probably trying to send some kind of message. And like people like us, you know, we're not gonna believe in that type of stuff. We don't know anything. So if this shit falls, we're just gonna justify it and say, oh, it's the wind. So
I would too.
yeah. So there's no point in like haunting people like us, is what I thought. So,
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like paranormal activity can be spirits trying to communicate with humans and not knowing, or they just don't know that they're dead, stuff like that.
Well, this is a question maybe it's better asking to him himself, but since having the sixth sense make people communicate with him, could you say it's actually a curse? Because obviously some people would think that it's a gift that you're able to communicate with someone. But it seems to me, it feels like it's a curse, potentially.
I mean, it's all about perspective.
Yes.
I mean, communicating with spirits, I mean, it sometimes is a good thing, but I mean, haven't you heard that, you know, you shouldn't talk to spirits? I mean, you shouldn't talk to people in the afterlife. I mean, I mean, this is all a theory, but I don't know. It might be a curse. It might be a gift. It just depends on how you like think of it. If you like, if your mother passes away and she visits, you know, some of my friends with another sixth sense. I don't know why I have these friends, but I have so many friends with sixth senses. But another friend of mine said that his mother had the sixth sense, and she always said, you know, oh, your grandmother is waiting at the door. You know, when she's already passed away. So it might be a good thing if someone you love, like you truly love, comes to your house even after they're dead. You would be happy about it, right? I mean, if someone I loved came to my door, you know, you would be scared, but you know, it would be kind of happy to like see them again. So that kind of stuff. You know.
Yeah, it's I must say it's a bit bizarre listening to all this, because I don't really know anybody who has a sixth sense or that kind of awareness to it. I think we can segue into the topic of afterlife. You know, I think it's high time. Does this mean that the stronger your sixth sense is, then the more you're likely that you believe in afterlife, perhaps? Because
maybe
afterlife, this is something that I'm sitting on the fence with, in the sense that it's possibly true. I have much more believing in than spirits and sixth sense and stuff.
So, what do you think happens when you die? I mean, dude, I was on the same page as you until I met this friend, but this is a really short story that I can tell you.
Yeah.
It's that friend A, okay, let's say that friend B is the person that has the sixth sense.
You went to the hotel with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And friend A is a completely different person. So these two were together at, you know, a different location where I was. I just heard this story. Friend A was, you know, sitting on the bed, and friend B with the sixth sense saw a shadow, or like a cloud, a black cloud behind him. And this friend A person, I'll tell you later, but it's a very close person, a person that, you know, is very close to me. And friend B said, did something bad happen to any of your friends or family in the last month? And friend A says, my friend, you know, had some, you know, issues and committed suicide. And friend B said, yeah, I saw a black cloud behind you. You know, and like, I don't know, this you know, like those things connecting, you know, like saying that, oh, did something happen to you in the last like month, and saying, you know, getting that right, and saying like, oh, there's a black cloud behind you. And plan B, not plan B, friend B explained to me that there's 3 types of clouds, or how do you say,
Like not shrooms.
like, I mean clouds. There's red, there's black, and there's gray. Black, I I mean white, not gray. So white is a friendly one that is protecting you at all times. Black is one that have a tragedy that happened, and red is murders, killers, and stuff like that. People who have experienced those types of things, and they explain that, and everything connected, everything fell into place. Friend A experiencing that kind of stuff, and friend B getting it spot on without knowing anything. Like out of the blue, they were just talking about random stuff. They were just hanging out.
Yeah. So the question that he first asked gave the feeling that he might have actually a sixth sense, right? Because the question
that was the first thing I heard.
Did something happen to you recently?
Yeah.
Just makes you think it clicks, right?
Yeah. So I mean, people can make stuff up. That's the first reason why you think ghosts aren't real. That's why you're skeptical of these things, right? Because you think that people are just making this stuff up just for entertainment attraction.
Yeah.
Right. But hearing this kind of stuff, he said it beforehand and got it right. And asking a friend that kind of deep question, saying did something tragic happen to your friend or family, out of the blue, that's something that you have to be pretty confident, or you have to be pretty, it's a very personal thing to ask. So he actually saw it, and he said, did something happen, and he got it right. So that was the first thing I heard from friend B. So that's what made me really believe in spirits and ghosts and afterlife.
Yeah, I think mentioning this afterlife debate is important in the Japanese context as well, because in a Christian sense, if you die, then the story goes they either go to hell or heaven or whatever. But in Japanese way of contextualizing it is that either way you're going to become a spirit, whether you're a good person or a bad person. And that's something that's difficult to, how can I say, to make into context for in Christianity or in Western terms. When you say it's a pretty Japanese way of going things.
I feel
doing things. Sorry.
I feel this is my opinion about afterlife. I feel after you die, it's just sleeping. If you don't believe in afterlife, if you don't believe in heaven or hell, or if you don't believe in spirits, you just go to sleep. And if you do believe in spirits, you become a spirit. If you believe in heaven, you go to heaven. If you believe in hell, you go to hell. It's all in your mind, I think. I think the human mind is strong enough to, navigate you once you die.
Wow, I never thought it like that, actually. Very profound. I'm not even being sarcastic.
I've been thinking about this stuff because friend B really, really convinced me that if you really believe in spirits, you're probably gonna go down that path, trying to, if you're like I said, if you're a red cloud, if you're killed by someone, murdered by someone, you probably want vengeance. You want to kill, you want to regret their decision that they made. Wow. So they probably become a spirit and haunt them, and that's how those things occur. And that's what I think. What do you think about afterlife? I've been rambling on, so.
Well, again, I like to look into the cultural side of things. I would say pre-Asian, East Asian way of thinking it. The hell, heaven way of thinking things, it's much more straightforward, and perhaps it makes you sort of shapes your way living, how you live, for example. But with this way, I'm a bit struggling here. but in the way that the Japanese you're being haunted by the ghosts. Excuse me. No, but the Christian way of doing things, I think, makes you shape your way you're living while you're actually alive, much more so than how the Japanese think normally. Is what I first and foremost thought about.
Pretty interesting. Boy, this is getting pretty Very spooky. Do you have any like personal paranormal experiences or scary experiences? Do you have like zero or any like friends that experienced it maybe? Any bad dreams that like just keep you up at night?
I do have weird dreams. I do. I'm a big believer in the sense that the last 3 or 4 days you have experienced, and it does reflect you in your dreams. The fears I have are normally very, very real and right in your face. You could say I don't really think in such a philosophical way. It's all very, on the surface level. That's why I'm scared of, falling or wild beasts or, how can I say, being chased by people.
So like dreams, it's a whole different like
Exactly.
huge category, but how do you say kanashibari?
Like being stricken.
So
Maybe?
it's
Shackled.
I'm pretty sure if I describe it, you guys would know. When you're sleeping and your mind wakes up, but your body doesn't, and you can't move your body, but you open your eyes and you can see yourself, basically. And have you experienced that before?
Maybe once, but then again, I was really, really young, so I like to think I just made it up myself.
I experienced this and I was fucking traumatized. People who believe in spirits say that it's the spirits, they're playing with you. But I was very young as well, and I don't remember much. But I remember it being very, very scary. Your mind wakes up, but your body doesn't. Like, it's such a scary concept. And I have one like dream that I had in, say, like 6th grade that sticks with me and probably will for the rest of my life. It's me.
Is it something that you can share with us?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I was sleeping in bed in my dream. I was sleeping in bed in my dream, and I woke up. This was America, and I woke up, and then the room was completely dark, and on the left-hand side there was a door, and blue light was coming out of it. I walked out. Holy shit! Oh my god! I'm starting getting goosebumps. I walked out, and I think there was like 4 or 5 blue clouds that are shaped like humans walking towards me, and chasing me. And I think it was my house. I believe, an American house, and I was like running, and I ended up hiding in my sheets, under my sheets, like any kid does, and then I woke up.
Did you have bad experiences before or after this dream? Is there something that you can
I don't think so, no. Not that
relate
I
to?
remember.
It was just a one-off bad day at the office.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it had anything to do with what I did, or I didn't have any effects after that. I think it's just that one dream just keeps fucking with me. It's those 5 blue blobs that came after me that looked like humans. They're like 6 or the hella tall. I mean,
it's difficult to how can I say characterize or make it personal with me. I must say that.
Yeah, so like those kinds of experiences, like meeting friend B, and those kinds of experiences, really makes me believe that there are spirits. There is something when you die, and we should go to a haunted place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still very, very skeptical, so I still need some convincing.
I was on the same boat as you, man.
Well, take me to your boat then.
Come to the dark side, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, so
Appreciate it.
Should we talk about the movies, or should we just like say fuck it?
Movies, yeah, might as well, just to cap it off.
So do you know any movies that Japanese movies, horror movies?
Sadako is the one that comes to mind. I think with most people as well.
Can you like briefly explain what kind of movie it is?
Well, I've only seen the trailer, but again, it's very stereotypical in the sense that there's no face, but it's also pale, long hair, and then it's very, very, how can I say, wide and thin, but how can I say, it's rake, like thin as a rake,
Mm-hmm.
and then the hands, the fingernails are bloody long, and they're coming out the TV screen. That's the infamous scene, isn't it?
So I hate that movie.
Oh, you seen the whole thing of it?
Yeah, I have.
My gosh.
I mean, I love horror films, but you know, after a friend B, I'm starting to hate them. But you know, like in my friend group, I think you would know that I love horror movies. I love grotesque movies. I'm just fucked up in the mind like that. And do you like horror movies?
You must be joking. Right?
I mean, the people don't know.
To clarify, no, I'm not a big fan. Thank you.
So have you seen? Okay, so another movie is. Have you seen Hikiko-san?
I haven't even heard of it actually.
So Hikiko-san is about. Okay, this is a really. Okay, I watched it like in middle school or something, which bad idea. So it's about a girl. Probably same description as Sadako. Same long hair, and basically the premise is a woman crawls up to your bed and pulls you from the feet out of your bed.
One of those. Okay.
Yeah, Hikiko-san. Basically, it means pulling you, like out. That's what it means, Hikiko-san.
Right. Does it happen to a specific bed, or can you be sleeping anywhere and still happen?
I mean, the movie that like I vaguely remember it, but it was just a woman crawling on the ground, coming to you, and then like grabbing you and just like pulling you out of bed.
And takes you into her world
into
hell.
abyss. Yeah. And The Grudge, Ju-on in Japanese. Have you seen that movie?
Of course not.
What? All right, we're watching that tonight.
God's sake.
So The Grudge is about, same description. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's about a small young boy. I would say 5th grade Japanese boy, and he's blue, light blue. I fucking hate blue. I hate blue now, basically.
Is it the same with Aoni? That's different, isn't it?
No, that's different. So it's about a young boy. I don't know if it's every episode. There's a lot of Grudge movies, but it's have you? The infamous.
I think it's coming to you. I think
that sound. The infamous.
Yes. I'm aware of it. Yes.
The kid crawling down from upstairs, like down the stairs, and saying.
The original is one of the most scariest, isn't it?
I mean, I popular opinion probably. Japanese horror movies are scarier than any other movies. I think. Would you say?
Well, maybe it's the shape of the characters, the characteristics, it's the paleness, the lack of facial expressions.
It's real. You know what I mean? It's like the situations are real, so you kind of like imagine yourself in that situation. Like some of these take place in like showers, like stairs, just in your room. But like in other movies, like an American movie is probably like a zombie movie. It's not real. It's all fictional, so you can't really imagine yourself being in their position. But in Japanese movies, I feel like you're like thrown into that position. It's very relatable. I think that makes it scarier.
Oh, that's what he said. I'll take your word for it.
All right, so today we're watching Ju-on. We're watching The Grudge.
God.
Marathon time. All right, I think this is a pretty good episode. We talked about some scary stories. We gave out 6 scary stories. We talked about afterlife, if we believe in ghosts. I rambled on for a long time about friend B.
I must say, I do appreciate that you willing to share all of this rather personal stories and anecdotes.
I didn't give any names, so I'm pretty comfortable with that. So, yeah. And yeah, if you have any scary movies that you want to recommend, we're probably going to watch it together. So, give us, any scary movies. If you have any scary paranormal experiences that you have, leave it in the comments. And do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, for more great content like this, possibly spooky, we got a second channel, DTShorts. Please check it out. I also have an Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that good jazz. So make sure we'll put the links in the description as well.
Please like this video if you enjoyed, and please subscribe if you haven't.
Okay, until then, take care
and peace.